Hello and welcome back to the port. I'm the Galaxy Major, and this is a review of the Tech Tree Tier 4 French destroyer, the Jaguar. Now this is a game of capture the base on fault line. It's a Tier 4 and 5 game. On the enemy team we have a T-22, a Farragut, a Königsberg which has 5.1 kilometer sonar, an Omaha, a Dallas. They both have 3.7 kilometer and 3.9 kilometer, so 3.7, 3.9 kilometer of sonar, and then a New York Matus which has torpedoes, Normandy and Queen Elizabeth. Spawned on the left, so I'm going to play the left and go down this gap, I guess you could say. I think that's going to be my plan. Anyway, going on to the stats of the Jaguar, but before I do that, so the Jaguar is currently a early access French destroyer. She's only available in French destroyer crates and big French destroyer crates. The drop rates I have discussed in Wales Weekly of the 30th of July, but she will become fully researchable in the next patch, so you don't have to rush at the moment. It's only if you want to get your hands on her early. So going on to stats, as always, in comparison to the Tech Tree destroyers, you have the highest HP pool for the tier, but you do have the thinnest armor. So basically, you got a substantially higher HP pool than most other destroyers at this tier. It's quite a big step change, really. The only downside is that your maximum armor thickness and your minimum armor thickness aren't exactly anything to shout about. Going on to the artillery, you have the joint highest caliber guns at the tier. You've got 5-inch guns and you've got 5 of them. You've got 2 rearward facing, about 2 aft, 2 fore and 1 midships. 3 of your guns are rear facing, so your midships and aft guns are rear facing, which means you can do this thing where you can almost swish back and forth and keep 3 guns on target. If you want to bring all your guns onto target, then you are going to have to bring yourself almost very broad on. So that's one of the downsides there. However, when it comes to your actual shell qualities, you have, let me just find myself, you have joint highest HE damage per shell, highest fire chance, and you also have above average AP damage. Now you have an average range and the second slowest reload, and then you have an average traverse speed. And I really wouldn't mind seeing if I can just push this 222 a little bit harder. So what does that give you at the end of the day? Well, that gives you the second best HE DPM, the best AP DPM, and the highest fires per minute at 4.1. Now the torpedoes, now these have been a little bit controversial depending on how you look at them. Yeah, we're going to do this, we're just going to have to get close. See if I can cut them off at the front and maximise how much he's got to turn his turrets. So you've got 2 launchers, each launcher has 3 tubes. The launchers are mounted on the midships. You have the slowest reload per torpedo, but you also have the highest damage. Now what they have is a 1.2 kilometer detectability and a 7 kilometer range, and so from your base what that does give you is a 1 kilometer stealth torpedo range. What I'm doing, I'm turning away from him just to make sure that his torpedoes don't come anywhere near me. Now going on to manoeuvrability, we have below average speed or base speed, we have the second largest turning circle, and we have the slowest rudder shift. Concealment wise, we're average, we really are. All your stats concealment wise are pretty much slap bang in the middle. Consumables wise, all you get is 2 engine boosts. These give you plus 20% speed for 120 seconds, which means from your base speed they will take you up to 42.6 knots. Now this will make you the second fastest at the tier with engine boost. As always, my commander build and my modules will be down in the description. However, there's only really one module. You got one module and you can pick between 2. I've gone aiming systems. It just seems to be the best one, really. The other one's a bit like faffing around with your turrets. I think it improves your traverse speed at the cost of rate of fire. Um, yeah, I'd rather just go aiming systems. I think it's just a nice standard one to go for. Now, the Jaguar is a member of the Chacal class destroyers. Now, this means jackal in French. These were built during the 1920s. Now, the Jaguar's career during World War II, she served as a convoy escort between Gibraltar, Casablanca, and Brest, basically just carrying out escort duties from 1939. However, she was accidentally rammed by HMS Keppel and went in for repairs in the early 1940s, and she came out of repairs in May 1940, where she basically then got rushed off to Dunkirk. She entered Dunkirk carrying a demolition team. However, she was torpedoed by German E-boats, which entered the harbour, and in order to prevent her from sinking, she was beached, and then she was later stricken off. So she had quite a short career, and looking over the careers of most of the Chacal class destroyers, I think only one of them really made it past 1943. So it's part of the French destroyer concept, the big destroyer concept. So fast, good guns, quite large, but lightly armoured. So we've got 1 minute and 15 seconds until the end of the game, on the assumption that we do actually pull off the capture. They've only got 3 ships left, of which only one of them seems to be coming here. So, playing the Jaguar, how have I found her? Well, I've done testing between the two commanders. I will probably be launching a commander comparison video based on the testing that I've done with the Jaguar. But I find that once you've picked certain abilities and things like that, you can kind of play them as torpedo boats, but you just always remember that you don't have the smoke. You're kind of relying on your health and speed to break off engagements. The nice one of having those rearward facing turrets is that usually means that when you do bump into something, you're kind of got a decent amount of DPM facing rearwards as you break off the engagement. Because with the Jaguar, you're either going to be pushing the engagement or retreating. It all depends on how much DPM the enemy can bring. Now the nice one is that those torpedoes really do hit like a train, so if you can get them on target, then they do hurt. So one of the things you'll notice with my commander build is I have gone for the kind of abilities which improve torpedo range, because okay, it's nice to be able to stealth torpedo, I have to admit, and it is quite a strong, nice advantage of them. The only downside is, as you can see, they have that slow reload, and then to bring all of them to bear, you have to be quite a wide stance. Now, acceleration wise, she doesn't seem too bad. If I do that, and I might do another one like there, I don't want to have to shoot. Not unless my torpedoes are getting really close. Yeah, there goes the Auboyneau. I don't think we're going to get a torpedo on target. Now I haven't gone for the ability of having the reduced detectability when engine boost is activated. The reason being is that although it's quite a nice ability, it offsets the reload time of the engine boost, and you only get 2 engine boosts. And I don't want to go into too much detail, but I feel like with these, it's a key ability to actually be able to keep your engine and rudder going. And so I've looked into abilities with that, because obviously you don't have the smoke screen available, which will obviously enable you to break off an engagement. So you're relying on your engine at all times. This Normandy has accepted his fate, I believe. I think he only needs one launcher. You'll see how hard these hit. So there you go, just use my engine boost to close in as fast as I can, which means that a battleship will only probably have one volley against you, and if they whiff it, then they're not going to be in a great position, is the best way to put it. Now, another way of playing the French destroyers is you can play them as gunboats at range. That Dallas does have a lot of DPM, but ooh. Yeah, the maneuverability on them isn't amazing. I'm not quite sure about the agile trait that they seem to give Corlum. I wouldn't say they're that agile. Well, that Dallas has got his guns trained on the battleship, and so I'm on his other side, so I might start firing. Try and take advantage of that high fire chance that we have with these shells and the high HE damage. So he damaged on that first fire and straight away managed to get another fire on him. Now let's see what a bit of AP does, because the Citadel on the Dallas can be quite difficult to find at times. Not a lot of damage. No, he's now firing at me. So what I'll do, I'll just drop off detectability, I think.
Critical engine damage. The ship is on fire. Problem solved, sir.
Nice. Well, that's an interesting little game with the Jaguar. Engaged 2 battleships, 1 destroyer, and 1 cruiser. But I didn't really tick with the cruiser, really. Bum rushed 2 battleships quite quickly. You can see how hard the torpedoes hit. It's almost like if they whiff their 1 volley and they're unsupported and isolated, like those 2 battleships were, then you've pretty much got them in the bag, because your torpedoes just chuck out so much damage. Against a destroyer, if it's not a gunboat destroyer or it's unsupported, you can easily tear them to pieces. If it's a gunboat destroyer that you're concerned about taking on, or they are heavily supported, then you're just going to have to use your engine boost to break off the engagement, because obviously you don't have smoke. But yeah, it's about reading the situation, and they're not super aggressive destroyers. I find that you want to be standing a little bit further back. They're slightly more passive play destroyers, I guess you could say. Well, because with some destroyers you play aggressive, you've got smoke screen to get out. But these, like, if things start to go wrong, the only thing you can do is run. So that's where you have to play them slightly more passively, because that means when things do go wrong, you're not so far forward. You're right on the edge of your detectability range, or something like that, I guess you could say. Although it was amusing that I did detect the T-22 first due to my commander build and camos and things like that. As always, the modules and the command build is down in the description. Getting top of the team 3 kills, fair enough. Made a pretty penny at the end of the day, but yeah, that was quite a high damage game simply because I killed 2 battleships at very close range. Well, if you like this kind of content, give the video a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe. And if you are already subscribed, then thank you very much, guys. Your continued support and contribution to the channel is always much appreciated. I've been the Galloping Major, and back to the port.